Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Tabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a crazy show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Now, this show is going to be a little bit controversial, right? And it centers on a controversial topic, which is this speculation that some people have about LeBron James possibly taking performance-enhancing drugs, right? There have been people out there that have been making comments over the years that have left some people saying, well, something going on here, something going on here. If you look at the way, also if you look at the way that he's playing at his advanced age, it's unprecedented, right? Of course, we've had individuals like Chael Sonnen go out there and make some strong comments about LeBron and saying he knows the person that LeBron gets his stuff from. He's done that before. Some people have reacted to that. Kevin Garnett earlier last year said something about LeBron on that Balco juice or whatever it is, on that Balco, that new Balco or something like that. We reacted to that, and people have pushed back on it, right? But it's something that's not really discussed. The reason it's not discussed, I believe, is because if something like that ever came out, it would absolutely blow up the internet. It would destroy the world, basically. It would just be too big of a piece of news, right? So it's rarely discussed. So yesterday I was just going through the internet and I came across a video that was recommended to me from the Dan Batard show. And you guys know Dan Batard is with the DraftKings network. He used to work at ESPN. And the video had the following title saying, "The crew goes after Dan for his LeBron HGH comments," right? It was about an 18-minute or so segment. So I clicked on it to hear what was being said, right? What was being said. And Dan Batard was essentially saying, look, is anybody not noticing that this doesn't seem normal? Is anybody not noticing that this doesn't seem normal? And I forgot his co-host, the black guy. I know his name. I've seen him on ESPN a bunch of times. Please forgive me. I forgot his name, and unfortunately, they didn't put his name in the bottom of the credits here, so they're not actually showing who he is. But I forgot his name, but he's obviously well known. And when you hear his voice, Amin, right? I think Amin. And he immediately starts going after Dan Batard for saying this. And it created this very awkward, heated back and forth where they were basically trying to shut him down. Like, why would you even bring up this kind of question? And I was like, wow, this is pretty intense. But Dan Batard did push back, and he did make his points clear why he was saying it should be a question. But before we even get into this exchange here with these gentlemen, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports with over 10 million members. PrizePicks makes it easy to get real money action on the sports and players you love. You pick more or less on at least 2 for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. For example, this week on PrizePicks, I'm looking at the upcoming NBA schedule and selecting Stephen Curry for more than 29 points and Kevin Durant for more than 27 points and Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. If you're like me and you like to play it safe, you'll love PrizePicks' new feature, Flex Plays. It's the safest way to play. You can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. Plus, you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. On top of this, PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quick as in 15 minutes. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we'd like to do now is we'd like to play some of the key parts for you where you could listen to kind of everybody chiming in, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to these guys here.
What other bad takes did we have yesterday?
Okay, so all right. Clearly I was building up to this point. Dan, you can speculate how, it's a wonder that PEDs aren't more prevalent in basketball the way we know it is in football and baseball. What you cannot do, unequivocally, is put someone's name on it who does not have any history of it. I get what you're saying, but Dan, you got to remember, you're not Fran LeBatard or Dan Leibowitz. You're Dan LeBatard. There's a 20 under that. This show has been on the air for 20 years. You've been in the media for longer than that. When you even ask questions of that variety, you are creating something / giving voice or gas to something, no matter how unfounded it is. So you cannot say, well, Chael Sonnen said it. If Chael had just said it, if it had just come out, he was this week's guest on Andrew Schultz's show, then maybe that's an opening.
A newsworthy lane? You're talking about timeliness? It's a timeliness question where I can ask questions in we're gonna agree on this part, right? We're living in the skeptical age, right? The age of skepticism. And so if I just make it hypothetical athlete X, I don't even make it LeBron and everything you know. I simply say to you, what do you think is more likely? That an athlete would try and defy age through science at the end of his career, or that one athlete had a career that defied the limits of the human body, unlike any we've ever seen in terms of mileage and how his body holds up for 20 straight years. I'm assuming did Kareem have more minutes? I'm assuming LeBron James has played more minutes than anyone else. Which do you think is more likely?
I think if you put it as a if you frame it exactly as you framed it there are people who could say, we know who you're hinting at. But I think you stay on this, albeit very close to that line, on this side of the line of, okay, you can have that conversation.
But if I preface it, though, if I'm prefacing it with all that you know about me and my admiration for LeBron, combined with, hey, I'm not accusing anyone of anyone here. I'm trying to have the macro conversation around America's giant, biggest athlete for the last 2 decades, using him as a vehicle, as we talk about Mo Vaughn over here and Ekblad over there.
Right.
Using him as, you've got this unprecedented thing. Can you guys explain to me, America, why this is the line too far on your skepticisms?
So
when I'm not accusing him of anything. Dan, I'm just wondering why this is the place that you get this offended.
I'm offended because you said it, Dan. Because and as you say, my admiration for LeBron, you think it absolves you. What it does is it puts more credence in what you're just throwing out as a question. But for people to say, well, Dan LeBatard always says nice things about LeBron and how he's coming to take everybody's stuff, and now he's asking whether he's doing PEDs. Dan, no, I'm just telling you how it received. You're not. I know you're not sending it out that way, but the message is being received that way because of who you are. It would be like, Dan. It would be like if I all of a sudden started talking about J. Cole having ghostwriters. But Amin loves J. Cole. He's just asking a question. How can this guy keep being creative and writing like this without ghostwriters, right? If I said that, given who I am to that person, then it allows people to say, wait a second, I thought this was just a barbershop conversation, but this guy who has all the credibility is bringing it and giving it credence. And so when you say America and skepticism and where's our skepticisms and all that, yes, it's right to be skeptical about things, but also we live in an age where cockamamie statements have been given credence by people we deem credible.
We're witnessing something that has no precedent for the human body. And I'm not even questioning it.
But
I'm asking why there aren't questions about it.
That's the same thing, Dan.
That's the same.
Dan,
like
you're bringing it up and saying
that's the problem.
Like in the content age, I'm about to explain to you the whys of it. I'm super interested in the reaction. I'm super interested in the macro conversation, and the athlete is, I can change it by the decade. It doesn't matter whether it's LeBron. I remember the way people behaved when we turned Maguire and Sosa into the people that we turned them into. And then over the last 20 years, everyone from Lance Armstrong to Barry Bonds to everyone else has been some form of a lie. And so this guy who has managed over 20 years to be a pillar that I've never seen in my journalism career, not just an international icon that has done almost everything the right way, also has as scientific fact behind him the fact that his body has held up better than any human body has ever under these conditions. And so I ask of America, not LeBron, why don't you ask why? Like, what happened over the last 20 years on this stuff where we just weren't curious about that and Tom Brady and all the stuff that allows these people to age 10 years beyond previous facts?
So you heard the exchange between Amin Elhassan and Dan Batard. What are my thoughts on this? First of all, Amin is essentially saying, by you bringing this up, you are giving people ammunition. Because even though your intentions or your curiosity may be noble, other people may not have noble intentions. And they may use what you're saying as a linchpin to then go out there and say, you see, I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong. I told you. Dan Batard is saying it. So why are you giving this point of view a platform? But Dan is saying, based on what we are seeing, this isn't normal. It's not normal. He said, when we looked at other players like McGuire, Barry Bonds, Lance Armstrong, and all the other athletes from the past, we didn't shy away from asking these questions when we were speculating whether or not what they were doing is natural or not. So why should we give LeBron the benefit of the doubt? Now, I understand what Amin is saying, which is, look, if you don't have any substantial evidence or any real proof, then you should stay away from saying this. Now, if you notice our channel, we haven't produced any videos where we came out and said that because I have absolutely zero proof, right? There are people that have touched on it that have gone a little bit further than I have. And they've kind of referenced various stories like the clinic in Miami and all of that. But I don't have any real proof. So I try to be careful about talking about things like that because I simply don't have any proof. And I don't want to start defaming people and doing all of that and get myself into legal trouble, because I think you need to be careful about those kind of things. So I've kind of steered clear based on the fact that I have no evidence. But this thing of, kind of letting LeBron get a pass, and it's like, well, we don't have any proof of this, so why speculate? That didn't stop people from speculating whether or not Michael Jordan had a hand in his father's demise. That didn't stop you dudes. That never stopped you. As a matter of fact, it's something they still talk about today. Even the situation with Kobe Bryant, when he got into that situation in Colorado, that mess. Even though the case was dismissed, people to this day, Kobe did it. Were you there? Were you there in the room? Do you have any proof of this? No, but it doesn't stop them. So he's like, why are we giving LeBron? Why are we giving him this grace? And if you listen carefully, well, I didn't play that part, but everybody was pushing back. Like, they all went at Dan Batard on the show. Now, as far as the J. Cole analogy, that was ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not illegal to have a ghostwriter in hip hop. You lose credibility. Yeah, you lose credibility, especially when people think you're writing your own rhymes, but it ain't illegal. It's not illegal. This is something totally different. So I get what he was trying to say, but it was a bad analogy. What I want to know from you guys is, whose side are you on this issue? Do you think that it's dangerous to bring up these kind of points, given the platform that Dan Batard has and the credibility that he has without any substantial proof? Or do you agree with Dan Batard by saying, why aren't people curious about this? Like, why is everybody so like, why are we just acting like as if what we're seeing is normal when it's not? What side are you on this issue? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.